Hello and welcome to Search Central and what is our first video. For those who don't know us, which is most likely most of you at this point, we're a team of collectibles experts and professionals who want to share our knowledge and experiences with the world. We've been thinking about a YouTube channel for a little while, but a combination of not enough ideas and then too many ideas and other work has prevented us from doing so. But as we approach the end of 2022, we thought it would be a good idea to do an annual review of the certified and graded collectibles market. In this video, we'll look at what the most expensive items were in a particular category. Did they break any records? And if not, what was the record? We'll go through these categories in alphabetical order and let's get underway. So, kicking off our list is banknotes. October 2022 saw the sale of an American 1882 $100 gold certificate. This was graded by the Paper Money Guarantee, or PMG, as very fine, 30. And that was sold for $750,000, which is about £612,000 by Heritage Auctions. Unfortunately, not a record, as this is held by another American banknote, the 1890 Grand Watermelon $1,000 Treasury note. This note was graded as extremely fine 40 by PCGS Currency. This note sold for a colossal $3.29 million, about £2.6 million in January of 2014, also through Heritage Auctions. I know some of you are asking, why is it called a Grand Watermelon? Well, 1,000 is a grand and the zeros on the back look like watermelons, so it's a Grand Watermelon. But moving on. So coins, and leading the way for coins in 2022 is a 1795 gold $10, which was sold by Heritage Auctions for $3.36 million, or £2.73 million, and this sale was on the 13th of January 2022. This coin is known as the 9 Leaves BD3 variety, which gets its name from the 9 leaves on the palm branch held by the eagle on the coin's reverse. The more common but still very rare standard example has 13 leaves, and it graded as an impressive MS63 Plus by PCGS with a CAC approval sticker. With an original mintage of about 500 coins, it's believed that there are only 20 to 22 of these gold coins in existence. But that was not enough to break the record, which is currently held by the MS63 PCGS graded 1933 Double Eagle. With only one example in private hands, this coin was last sold at Sotheby's in June 2021 for a colossal $18.9 million, or £15.4 million. Coincidentally, this coin will be appearing on our upcoming Collectibles crime series, so be sure to check that out. And this coin, another note, this coin was sold as part of the Sotheby's sale of the 3 treasures from the collection of celebrity shoe designer Stuart Weitzman. The other 2 treasures being the British Guiana 1 cent black on magenta, the world's rarest stamp, which sold for $8.3 million, and the 1918 American inverted Jenny plate block of 24-cent stamps, which sold for $4.2 million. They aren't coins, but let's move on. So, comic books, one of my favourite categories. We do have a new record in January 2022, a Superman #1 graded 8.0 by CGC, sold privately for $5.3 million, which is a new record. This smashed the previous record held by Amazing Fantasy, the first appearance of Spider-Man. That sold in 2021 for $3.6 million, or £2.93 million. And Superman beat this record by $1.7 million. This Superman #1 was published by National Comics Publications, which is the predecessor of DC Comics, and cost just 10 cents when it was first issued, the issue date on the cover being 18th of May 1939. This comic is not the first appearance of Superman, though. That accolade is reserved for Action Comics #1, which was also issued by the National Comics Publications, with an issue date of June the 30th, 1938. It's worth mentioning that a CGC graded 6.0 copy of Action Comics 1, known as the Rocket copy because of its rocket stamp on the cover, was sold at Heritage auctions for $3.18 million in January 2022, before being sold privately later that year for $3.4 million, or about £2.77 million. This deserves an honourable mention, as in August 2014, an example of Action Comics 1 that was graded 9.0 by CGC achieved a massive $3.2 million, or £2.6 million. That was a previous record holder, so it is likely that if this example or the other 9.0 example, also known as the Nicolas Cage copy, if they come up for sale in the future, they are certain to break this record. Move on to sports cards now, and we will discuss all the different types of sports card under this one category. Again, we'll go in alphabetical order, and we'll start with baseball cards. So for baseball cards, we do have a new record. Heritage Auctions in August 2022 sold an example of a 1952 Mickey Mantle rookie card by Topps. This was graded as 9.5 by SGC, believed to be less than 2,500 of these cards in existence, and Heritage Auction sale of this card for $12.6 million, or £10.2 million, is a massive amount, considering that the record was also broken just weeks beforehand. Golden Auctions sold a 1909 to 1911 Honus Wagner card graded as extremely fine, 5 by PSA, for $7.25 million, or about £6 million. Coincidentally, that Honus Wagner card broke a record which was set by another card of the same type, albeit that card was graded VG3 by SGC, and that was sold by Robert Edwards Auctions in August 2021 for $6 million, or about £5 million. But yes, we have a new record for baseball cards. And now moving on with basketball cards. So a 1997 to 1998 Metal Universe Precious Metal Gems Emerald Kobe Bryant. This card was graded as 8.5 by Beckett Grading Services and was sold privately via PWCC in February for $2 million, about £1.63 million. This actually falls way short of the $5.9 million, or £4.8 million, which was achieved by a 2009 Stephen Curry card. This was a Logo Man autographed rookie card, which was graded as 8.0 by PSA and was purchased privately by Alt Fund 2, an investment fund managed by Alt, on July the 6th of 2021. So we'll move on to football cards, and we are talking about US football, not European or rest of the world football. So there was a sale with PWCC on October the 22nd, one of their premier auctions, and one of the star lots, or the star lot, was a 2000 Tom Brady playoff contenders card with a championship ticket, serial numbered 8 out of 100. This card was graded by Beckett Grading Services as Mint 9, with the signature achieving a subgrade of 10. This realised a massive $2.4 million, or about £2 million. However, this one surprised me, and I am a bit of a Philistine when it comes to US football and the NHL, and I assumed that Tom Brady would almost certainly be the record holder. However, that honour is held by a 2017 National Treasures NFL Shield Patrick Mahomes autographed rookie card. This was graded as near mint to mint plus 8.5 and was sold in July 2021 for $4.3 million or £3.5 million, again via PWCC, although this time via private sale. So we have another football category, although this time it is rest of the world football, or for our cousins across the Atlantic, soccer. In October of 2022, a Golden Auctions sale saw a 2014 Panini Prism World Cup Gold Lionel Messi, serial numbered 2 out of 10 and graded by PSA as a Gem Mint 10. This sold for a massive $522,000 or £423,000, which smashed the record, which was held by a 1958 Alifa Balaje Pele card. This was graded as PSA near mint to mint plus 8.5 and was sold by Heritage in May 2021 for $372,000 or £303,000. We have a new record. And last but certainly not least in our sports card categories, we will look at ice hockey cards. So Heritage Auctions held a sale in August 2022, and a 1979 to 1980 Wayne Gretzky rookie card graded by PSA as a Gem Mint 10 sold for $1.2 million, about £979,000. This is not a record, as in May of 2021, another Heritage Auctions sale, this was actually a brokered private sale for an OPG 1979 to 1980 Wayne Gretzky rookie card, also graded as a Gem Mint 10 by PSA, sold for $3.76 million or about £3 million. Crazy. So we are going to move on to trading cards and gaming cards now, and in a similar fashion we'll go through these alphabetically, and let's go. So getting us started with trading cards is Magic the Gathering. And what was the most valuable Magic the Gathering card sold in 2022? It's a bit of a difficult question to answer, actually. Why? On the Howard Stern show in June this year, the artist Post Malone talks about buying a Black Lotus artist proof card signed by the artist Christopher Rush for a mind-boggling $800,000. This is about £650,000 and would shatter the record of $511,000 or £415,000 for an example, which was sold on eBay via PWCC in January 2021. I don't have so much confidence in using this as an example because I have no doubt that Post Malone's budget will stretch to one of these cards. However, with private treaty sales like this, it's unlikely that any information will ever filter down to the public, and we also can't be sure that if any sale did happen, if it happened in 2022. So on that, we will give an honourable mention to an unlimited edition starter deck in its original sealed box, which Heritage Auctions sold for $168,000 or £135,000 in March 2022. And this represents the highest price paid for a Magic the Gathering starter deck. So Pokemon cards, another one of my favourite categories, and we do have a record. In March 2022 there was a sale by PWCC, and in this sale was a 1999 first edition shadowless holographic Charizard, which graded as a perfect 10 by PSA and sold for $420,000. About £342,000. A standout card, or the standout card from the base set, this sale does represent the highest price paid for a Charizard. However, it does pale in comparison to the PSA 10 graded Pikachu Illustrator card. This was purchased for $5.27 million or $4 million, and a PSA 9 graded Pikachu Illustrator card, which had a value of $1.27 million. That was sold in July 2021 to none other than Logan Paul. And our last category in trading cards is Yu-Gi-Oh! Do we have a record? On the 23rd of September 2022, Heritage Auctions sold a Blue Eyes White Dragon first edition, which was graded Gem Mint 10 by PSA for $43,200, about £35,000. This pales in comparison when considering that the same 2002 variant, also graded PSA 10, sold for almost double that at $85,100, about £70,000. That was on eBay in 2020. These numbers, whilst high, are still a way off the $584,250 or £476,000 paid for a Legend of Blue Eyes White Dragon first edition factory sealed case, which was sold by Golden Auctions in September 2021. That remains the highest value Yu-Gi-Oh! Item ever sold. Moving on to video games, a relatively new category in the collectibles market, but one which really introduced itself with quite a bang and is showing no signs of slowing down. A Heritage auction in November 2022 saw a WATA graded 9.6 Seal Score A copy of a 1985 NES Super Mario Bros. This realised $720,000 or £587,000. Not a record, as in July of 2021 there was an auction of a WATA graded 9.8 A++ Seal Score copy, which was a USA edition of 1996's Super Mario 64, also through Heritage Auctions, and this realised a staggering $1.56 million or £1.25 million. 1 month after that record, Rally Road sold a WATA graded 9.8 A plus seal score copy of another 1985 NES Super Mario Brothers, a different variant to the Heritage SAL. This sold for a mind-bending $2 million, £1.6 million, to a single collector whose bid was accepted by 79% of Rally Road shareholders. This proved a superb investment, as we know that Rally Road purchased the game for $140,000 or £114,000 in April 2020. So our last category is VHS and video. So a couple of notes here. We know that TV and film memorabilia has been at the forefront of collectors' markets for as long as films have been made. Think Robbie the Robot from 1956's Forbidden Planet, which sold for $5.3 million, or James Bond's Aston Martin DB5 from Goldfinger, which sold for $4.6 million. We are only discussing certified collectibles here, and 2022 has been a fantastic year for certified VHS, DVD and Betamax. Heritage Auctions held a number of these sales throughout the year. A VHS copy of 1982's The Thing. This was graded by IGS as 8 near mint with a seal subgrade of 7.5. This sold for $37,500, about £30,000 in October 2022. There was a VGA graded 85 VHS copy of 1986's The Goonies, which sold for $50,000 or slightly over £40,000. That was in July 2022. But taking the mantle of most expensive graded movie for 2022 and possibly holding the record of most expensive video game ever is a VGA 80 plus near mint copy of 1986's Back to the Future, which sold for $75,000 or £61,000 in June 2022. So, some special notes. We are aware that not all graded collectibles are represented on this list, but there are reasons for their omission. Graded toys, for example, are one of the more frequently encountered categories in sale rooms. They do have a little way to go before they can be discussed in the same way as the Stefano Canturi Barbie, which sold for over $300,000, or the Astolat Dollhouse Castle, which sold for $8.5 million. Likewise, stamps have been omitted, as despite being one of the largest areas within the collectibles sector, the only company grading them which is well regarded by collectors is the Certified Collectible Group's Authenticated Stamp Guarantee. Their services are only available in China at present. Also a note on sports cards. There are a lot of areas within that category as with trading cards. So we have picked the areas within those that are regarded as the most popular and the torchbearers, if you like. So our conclusion, we have records in the comic book, baseball cards and film departments, which is not actually as many as I expected. This is indicative of a strong and growing market. People sell for different reasons, whether they've reached a certain age and want to cash out, to reinvest in other items. They believe the item is peaking, or they just need the money. The fact that collectibles are being held on to indicates a confidence in the market for the long term. There are also a number of previous record holders in their respective categories which have not been seen on the open market from years to decades, and no doubt their re-emergence will cause the same fanfare and media excitement as some of the collectibles we've discussed here. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you did, please give us a like and subscribe. This really helps us out, especially while we're in our early stages. The video editing and the quality will improve in the near future. I'm also aware that the screen is reflecting back in my glasses. I am blind as a bat without them, so we thought it was best to carry on. But if you didn't like this video, please let us know why in the comments, and also let us know what types of videos you'd like to see us make in the future. Thank you and take care.